Hi, John. How are you going?
I'm fine, Kirsty. Absolutely great. How's the weather in Australia?
Well, it was hot yesterday, but now in Melbourne it's grey and rainy again. But we've got bushfires up in New South Wales and Queensland, so it's the land of extremes, they say. Not
Well, it's
disappointing on that front.
been cold in Scotland, and we're anticipating more rain and possibly snow. So,
Oh, snow too.
listen, it is what it is. When you live in a country, when you look north of us, you find a place called Iceland. So there's a bit there. It's not Jamaica, right? So you're in cold weather. So we learn to live with it.
Yep. Oh man. So, do you often have a white Christmas then?
Uh, Probably three in the last 10 years or so, maybe three, maybe four. Sometimes you get a wee flurry and sometimes you get tons. You know, when you get the infamous beast from the east. But that's a bit, we're hardy people, we can handle it.
Yes. Oh, no doubt about that. So, for anyone who's watching, John is someone that I've met through the Kick in the Creatives group on Facebook, and they do YouTube videos and all that sort of stuff as well. There's a podcast which I think you can get through iTunes. Have you listened to that, John?
Yes, I have. The two ladies who run it, Tara and Sandra, absolutely brilliant. Very
Yeah.
interesting. They cover lots and lots of different subjects. So there's lots of tutorials and lots of guidance, help, support. So yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yes. Well, have you been on there for very long?
I have been with KITC now. It's coming up to 2 years.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so it's been quite interesting. Quite when I first started doing learning about Facebook and being involved in various bits and pieces, that was just over 2 years ago. So I came into learning about social media very late in my life. It was a very, very steep learning curve for me. Uh, Loads of fantastic people. There's people who really should be mentioned. There's a young lady called Finn Wykerley, who's the one of the smartest women in the planet, who runs Supersized Media, and another lady called Cassandra Barron, who used to be working with Voluntary Arts Scotland. So they run the course, taught support, absolutely brilliant. Loads of the young ones in the writing group that I set up a number of years ago, they all laughed at the fact that I had no idea about Facebook pages, website pages, social media, Instagrams. Now I do all those things and probably annoy the hell out of them because I do. But that's isn't it really?
Yeah, well, I don't think you annoy anyone on Kicking the Creatives anyway, because your poetry it's either really hilarious or it cuts to the quick of whatever issue you're talking about. Like yesterday's one, or whenever it was in your time zone, about Remembrance Day was really um, it was a tender kind of poem from my perspective. Everyone reads it their own way, but I thought you covered some tricky
Well,
stuff there.
well, I'm in Glasgow, and here tonight we are coming up to 11 o'clock in the evening. And you guys, you're 11 hours in front of us, so you're on the 12th of November, and we're still on the 11th. I come from a family that is immersed in the military, so I've known and thought and been brought up through lots of campaigns. My father served in Yemen through the Radfan Wars in the 60s. I have other members of my family that have been involved in historical wars and campaigns and operations for many, many years before I was even born, and then during the period of me being a child. Um, I've grown up knowing how important today is, and sometimes you just sit down and when you think about it, you just write about it, and it just appears. I think it's because I've been on this planet a long time, and because I've been very keen to be very respectful of Remembrance Day. The words to be able put them on paper, and then put them out for people to read. It's like anything else in life. It's my thoughts, it's my perceptions, it's my things that I've seen in life, and it's fabulous that people care, and it's even better that lovely people are even contacting me and saying, "Can I share this in America and such like?" Because this is the Remembrance Day is not about United Kingdom. It is about all the people who gave their lives, whether it be Americans, Canadians, Anzacs. I don't want to mess anybody out. Millions and millions of people fought in a war that we said they would never have another war after the First World War, and there was one. And then we fought that one and won that one. So sad, but sometimes you've just got to take a couple of minutes out of your life. You're only asking for people to remember for potentially 2 minutes out of a year of 365 days. I don't really think that that's too much to ask.
No, no, it's a very short percentage of time, really. Well, could you speak maybe? Have you always been a writer? Have you always used that as a form of getting your ideas out and reflecting?
It started off a long, long time ago when I was a child, around about 5 or 6 years old. My parents were stationed in Woolwich in London, by the Woolwich barracks, and I went to a school there. And I remember my mother always telling me for years and years and years, I'd written a poem. I don't know where the poem is, and apparently I'd won some sort of competition when I was really young. I remember that winning it was kind of not really the thing that you should be doing at that age, because you get mocked mercilessly. So I spent a long, long time in my life writing, but keeping all those wee bits and pieces to myself. Um, when I was in the military, I used to, at various stages, you get taught to do teaching practice and teaching, and then you become an instructor, and then you build up that confidence to write things and say things, and then you get the opportunity at various things like junior ranks clubs and senior NCOs messes to be able to write poems or write speeches and present them, farewell speeches, things like Burns Nights and such like. So I've always tweaked it, and then during the one of the big exercises, the military exercises that was being on worldwide, I put together a magazine in Germany, to kind of raise the spirits of the guys on a daily basis, and it was basically just a one page, then a 2 page, and then suddenly it was almost becoming like it gone from a short piece of paper to almost like producing a newspaper every day. We just kind of getting the morale of the guys up because we were going through tough times. Um, and then left the military, went into management, training, etc., etc. So I got involved in lots of different things, and all the time I was writing, putting stuff in drawers, putting stuff in folders, and then kind of got to an age where I thought to myself, I'd like to join a writing group. There wasn't one, so I set one up, and it's just been fabulous ever since.
Oh, that's so fun. And so what is the name of the group? Is it open for anybody to join or what? How does it run?
Right, basically 3 years ago, I wanted to set up a group. I didn't know how to do it, so I got myself an invitation to the BBC in Scotland. And when I got there, I met people from Voluntary Out Scotland, Get Creative, the BBC, and a number of other organisations, and they guided me into what to do and how to do it. So in that particular year, which was only a couple of years ago, in 2017, in the April time was the Get Creative weekend. So what I did is I used that time in the local library to sit there with a poster by myself and stopped anybody that walked by and encouraged them to join and write. Um, some of it was successful. A massive part of it was not a success. There was lots of people that were saying, yeah, they're interested, but never came back. How many different people have we had in the group over the years? In the book that I've just published, there's a guest writer who's moved back to India. So she's still part of the writing group, a lovely lady called Nikita Durav. There's another lady who's been a good supporter of the group, who's moved back to Seville in Spain. We've got lots of different people from different areas of Scotland, some from Falkirk. We have people from the Greater Glasgow area. The group is called the Gorbals Writing Group because that's where we're based. That's where we meet up in the library. We meet up twice a month. We meet up for various other things. We've been working on writing a stage play. We've now got this book off the ground with the guest writers. We're looking to have our own book of Gorbals writers with short stories and poems for 2020. We've managed to fundraise, and we've got money was used to put people on courses. We've also used, I don't know if you use it, I sent you a link to an organisation called Future Learn, who does an online training course with a university in England on screenwriting, and there's also how to write fiction. We've had people go on evening classes. We've had people going on tutorials. Sam, who's the editor of the book, he's recently finished a one-year course at a college in Glasgow. So we've gone from guys with a passion and a desire to learn and write, and we've just worked as a team to support each other and investigate and be proactive and be reactive to the things that come our way, and we've done pretty damn good.
Yeah,
I am very proud of the writing group. I now have there's a lovely lady down south in Andover called Lucy, and she runs In Search of Fairy Enough, and we're having a conversation about a collaboration about assisting her with writing. There's a lady in America who's asked me whether I would assist a lady friend of hers with writing. I've just started through KITC in the last 24 hours, a collaboration with a lovely lady called Celia in France.
Oh, yay, yeah.
You, young lady, are going to be inveigled into writing something with me because I have a cunning plan.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can make the choice of whether it be a screenplay, which I think it should be a TV short film about 80 to 90 minutes. We can make it into a book as well, and I think that me and you we could make this happen.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm really excited, and I was thinking about it this morning. You've really become a mentor for me with my writing and creative endeavors because I think I've been stuck in academia, writing in a certain way for such a long time, and trying to break out of that is I'm finding it really tricky. So I've really appreciated your help in getting me
But
to think, in a
you have
different way.
got the skills. Academia, 99.9% of it is people who are writing from the brain, from the head. But you are a mother of two wonderful children, so you've got a heart. So you just need to open that heart up a little bit and just write from the heart.
Yeah, oh, that's a lovely way to think about it. But yes, it's been interesting switching. I think I've spoken with lots of people about this, the identity shift from just being a career driven person to motherhood and juggling career and motherhood. I think it is changing the way that I work. Sometimes, like this morning when I forgot some formula that I should have put in my son's bag for childcare, and so I was running late. So that was not really the best way in which motherhood's changed me because my time is not always my own, but the way I think and the way that I want to be changing my writing, I think it's for the best. So yeah, it'll be an interesting ride from here, I think.
I just very quickly draw a parallel. See the bag you've got for the wee one. You and I both know about the formula, right?
Yes.
So if you have like a little waterproof tag attached to the bag with all the things that you need to have in the bag, and then when you read the bag, you read the tag, you fill the bag, you go. When you're doing your academic work, what you're doing is you're looking at things from various perspectives, or you're looking from a time zone, you're looking from the results, or you're looking from analysis. When you're writing, you're needing to look in a plan as well. You need to look at what is the premise going to be, what is the plot going to be like, what's the hook at the beginning, what's the locations, who are the characters, so that all little tick lists, all three things are all things about being organised,
Mm.
being prepared, and then if you're prepared, you've got a good chance of succeeding.
Yes, this is taking me back to my Girl Guides days. Be prepared and all that sort of stuff.
You
Yeah.
got it. It's people use the expression, you never get how to ride a bike. Well, all you got to do is just go back to muscle memory. If you write a little bit, if you sit down with a small pad and a pen, something to write with, something to write on, and a cup of coffee, and instead of just sitting there enjoying the coffee for 10, 15 minutes, enjoy the coffee for 9 minutes and do 6 minutes of jotting down some ideas. And then the next day when you have coffee, look at it again and expand upon it. Then the next day, because every day you're going to have coffee or tea, and every day you can add to that wee thing. By the end of the week, you might have 6, 7 post-its or 6, 7 pages.
Yes, that's so true.
But it's
It's
plastic, but it's
about discipline, right?
sorry.
It's about discipline, a fair bit of it.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to have a coffee, rather than just sit there, you know, thinking about things in the world, why not think about something that you'd like to bring to people's attention, whether it be a poem or a story, and then you can expand on it day by day. And then after a week, after a month, after a couple of months, you're going to have a lot of bits of paper. Now you've got the basis of a story or the basis of a book or the basis of a publication, haven't you?
Mm, yes, exactly. I used to do that before I had Eamon, my oldest. I would journal daily, like, and just play around with my ideas, and then get on with writing. Especially when I was doing my thesis, well, both of my theses. And then when I had Eamon, I just felt like I had no time to write and no brain power really. So I started doing photo journaling, just like photos on my phone to record what was going on in my day, or like screenshotting things. And then like through kicking the creatives, I've managed to get back to my writing practice again. But it started off with doing little sketches that you guys all saw. So and little bits of blobs of paint that I felt like putting together every now and again. So it's been a bit of a process to get back to it, but it's nice to be in the zone again. Have you ever had times when you just haven't been able to produce anything, or you felt really stuck?
No, I've I've got so many crazy ideas in my head. It's I I tell you one of the most fantastic things that happens. See, when you're looking, there's a lady who lives on the west coast of Scotland, a lady called Angela Murphy, and she has she runs Ang's Art, and then you've got this lady down south, Lucy, and then you've got Celia, and there's loads and loads of other people. I don't want to be just picking on one particular person or a couple of people. KITC has so many people who don't realize just how inspiring they are with their drawing, sketching, do all the various different bits and pieces that they do. And people need to realize, and there's brilliant guys as well. There's a guy in Ireland called Colin, and from Pigeon Paints, brilliant painter. You've got to you've got to sometimes just look at what they're painting and what they're producing. And these people need to have a window of opportunity. They need people to turn around, and the arts doesn't get the support right across probably the globe, let alone the United Kingdom. And when you look at some of that stuff, you can't help but be inspired to write. And sometimes you see something and you just go, I need to write about that. And about 6 months to a year ago, there's going to be people that are watching this and going to turn around and go, I remember John asking me, can I write a poem about this thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. I think I might still be live. um, so John has just dropped out. I have sent him a message to see if he can rejoin us from Scotland. Um, hey Dee, I see you saying hi. That's nice. So hopefully he can come back on. Yeah, I know John's gone. It sucks because he was just about to share some pearls of wisdom, I think. Ugh, but anyway, hopefully you guys have got something out of this already. I'm going to do a transcription. I've just been listening to April Frank's content for cash or something, whatever she calls it. And so she's got me onto this transcription service you can do online. It's quite cheap. And so you can just upload an audio file or a video and it will transcribe it, and then you can convert that to a blog or a LinkedIn thing post. So I'll try and do that too so that it's easy for people. Oh, Johnny, you back?
Hello.
Almost.
I'm fine.
It's just popped up in the screen, sort of.
Not sure what happened there.
Oh, I don't know either. But I'm glad you're back. What were you going to say? You were saying if anyone stops by this broadcast.
I think anyone who comes and sees this video about me expounding the virtues of the lovely people at KITC, give it a go. Come on board, give it a go, and you're going to meet some absolutely fabulous people, very supportive, very helpful, very encouraging, and massively, massively talented. I am in awe of some of the fantastic people who are on that site. So, yeah, on you go. Enjoy yourself.
It's a lovely thing to do. I've found at the end of the day, if I have been too exhausted to do anything, just to scroll through and see all the artwork that people are posting up, because it's just aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, like you said, inspiring as well. There's some really amazing stuff. Everett, I think, in the US was doing that digital art. I haven't seen his stuff lately, but that was really cool. And he started posting up, and he's become, I think he's a truck driver, and he's just managing to do this stuff on the side. So yeah, there's some very talented people in there. And yeah, the YouTubes are so much fun watching Sandra and Tara.
I've learned a lot about the different things. You know, you have people whose expertise is mixed media art, and you see people who are doing steampunk and all sorts of different things. So every single day when you're going on, you're seeing something that's enjoyable, uplifting, that makes you smile, makes you laugh, makes you think, and kind of stimulates you as a writer. And great company, lovely people.
Yes, they really are. And so, before we go, can you give your book a plug that's just been published?
Yes. I wanted to write a book with my colleagues in the Goals Writing Group, and I found myself, obviously, the older you get, the more time you have on your hands. So I found myself having lots and lots of poems and stories, and I thought, well, you know, why not lead by example? I keep on telling them we should have a book. So I spoke to Sam, who's within the group, Sam McGarren, and we decided that we was going to do two books. So the first book is Essenterry, which is I woke up one morning with the word in my head. I have absolutely no idea where it came from, but where it came from, thank you. Because the first thing I did was I Googled the word Essenterry, because I was thinking of it as an essential commentary on life. And Google just gave me a list of words saying, "Did you mean this?" Thinking, "You've misspelt it, John." So no, that became the title. I wanted it to be the storyteller, but that had already been taken. And I'm in the process of finishing off a book for children's writing, which you have very kindly guested as a guest writer, and that's going to be coming out on the 6th of December. So we've got a big meeting this Saturday, with Sam about various bits and pieces about the book. Um, I love lighthouses. Anybody who's on KRTC knows that. So the first book had a lighthouse on the cover. The second one's going to have a lighthouse on the cover, slightly lighter and brighter for the children. And it's just stories of bits of nonsense. It's bits of the children's book is going to be about magic crystals, witches' hats. It's going to be about a yeti that has his annual bath. Crazy, crazy. Well, see, yes, I'm a child at heart. I'm a 5-year-old that just hasn't grown up. Um, and the book for the adults, Esoteric, follows on from. I was very lucky to have the BBC send me emails and ask me if I would like to compete in different competitions to get picked for writing and productions of plays. And so I was very delighted to take up the opportunity. Submitted one to an organisation called Director's Cut, which is based in the Southwark Playhouse in London, and I was selected as one of a few throughout the whole United Kingdom to be performed on stage. So the gift is my thoughts on how veterans are being treated, homelessness in general, especially in London, which is horrendous, PTSD, and I tried to make it a little bit uplifting. And I've other stories and short poems which I've put into the book with guest writers from different parts of the world, and it's done well. It's done well enough to fund the next book, and then the children's book. We're hoping to fund another book, and I'm looking to kind of take this into 2020. It's not altruism. It's just there's fantastic people out there that really need to have people looking and saying, do you know what? There is nice people out there who are doing nice things and they're writing nice stories and writing nice poems and such like. And lovely people like Cheryl in America and others, Ellen in Greenock, these people need to have the opportunity to have their writing put out there so that people can not judge it so much, but can actually see it. So it gives them a window of opportunity. I love all these people dearly. They're all dear to my heart. And the fact that they've given up their writing and saying, look, you know, it's good that you're doing this, and then you're funding another book, and then that book will fund another one and another one and another one. So I'll keep on going until people either get bored or tired of listening to me and my nonsense. I'm enjoying the roller coaster ride as it is.
Yeah, so it sounds like an incredible couple of years or like a life, really. I know there's lots of things that you've told me about that you've been through that we haven't had a chance to talk about, and they're all kind of extraordinary, especially the connections with Germany and all that sort of stuff. But maybe we can talk about that another time. But like the newsletter that you were putting together for the in the service, and then the writing group, they're amazing collaborative efforts. And yeah, it's just so nice that people are building that kind of community atmosphere still, because I think sometimes we hear so many stories about how much more isolated we are these days, and people being stuck in their phones and that sort of thing. But actually, you're using social media and other, like, just the getting together to build that community spirit still. So there's heaps of stuff that's still good, and the human spirit is still alive.
Well, the thing is, Kirsty, people are stronger together. I come from a military background. I was taught. I left home at 15 and joined the military. They taught me you are stronger working as a team. So I love the idea of collaborations. I love the idea of different ideas, people's thoughts, different people's perceptions, different points of view. I don't have this. I don't have any major skills that I can turn around and say I know how to fix everything. I don't. I I believe that if loads of people all collaborate and work together, then their ideas and their thoughts and their processes and their dreams and aspirations they can be fulfilled by working together as a team, because quite often people will find themselves by themselves with so much to say and so much to do, but they don't have a platform to do that. And
Yeah.
it's we have an expression in Glasgow. It's nice to be nice.
Yes. It is nice to be nice. Well, we might wrap it up on that very nice quote. Is there anything else that you wanted to share before we call it quits?
No, I shall be in touch with you shortly to let you know how things are going with the children's book. I will be. I've already started putting together a few ideas as a screenplay idea. So I'll put together a synopsis of an idea for you. I think that your skills and your knowledge is very, very important to me in making my part of the story work. So I'm quite happy for you to have the lead name on this, young lady. Yeah, and well, I think we'll take on Netflix and Apple TV and a few others, and we'll see. Listen, you know the worst they can say, Kirsty, is no.
I know that's true. Aim
Yeah,
high. Why not?
yeah. Do you know what? I don't care. I don't care being told no, because one day I'm going to find someone who's going to say yes. So it'll be
Yes,
fine.
true. Yes, that's the spirit. I love
Right.
it. It's some good positivity, I think. But yes, I don't. We'll figure out authorship and stuff later.
Yeah.
See how it all falls into place. But I'm very excited.
In rules, you have the first name and I have all the profits. Is that the way it works?
I don't think so. I don't know if that's a fair deal.
Yeah,
But
those are
nice
the rules.
try. Oh man. Oh well, it's so nice to talk to you and see you
Okay,
because we've
love
messaged
things,
so
okay?
much.
Right,
Sorry?
take care. Bye.
Yeah, you too, John. Have a good one.
Bye. Be good.
You will.
Bye.